Okay then, guys, we'll start with the exercises in chapter 8. Okay, chapter 8 for the budgets. So I will start with exercise 8.1. Schedule of expected cash collections. The first budget will be prepared, the cash collections budget. Silver company makes a product that it is very popular in the Mother's Day gift. Thus, peak sales occurs in May for or of each year, as shown in the given sales budget for the second quarter given below. Now, if you remember, just for generalize the idea about the budgets, we started with the sales budget, is it? Sales budget. After that, we talked about what? Cash collection for these sales, is it? Cash collections for the credit sales, and then the production depending on the sales. After the production, raw materials depending on the production. After that, labor depending on the production. I will talk about these 5 at least budgets for these exercises for this lecture. So we're talking about collections, and the collections, as we know, it depends on the sales or budgeted sales on credit, sales on credit. So we do have these sales on credit and the total. For past experience, the company has done that 20% of these sales will be collected Twenty percent of the month sales are collected in the same month. 70% are collected in the following month. The remaining 10% will be collected in the second month after the sale. So the collection pattern for the company is 20, 70, 10. Any questions about this? 20, 70, 10 means 20 for this month in the same month, 70 for the next month, and the 10 or the remaining 10 and the following month. Bad debts are negligible and can be ignored, which means these percentages are 100%. Okay, it is possible to see the last one less than 10%, according to this example. Let's say 5%, and the remaining 5 will be bad debts, which means I will not wait for the collection of the bad debts. So for this question, it is negligible and it will be ignored. February sales totaled 230,000 and March sales totaled 260,000. Why we need February for April, May, and June? Because some of or the 10% of February will be collected in after 3 months, which is April. Why we need March? Because March will be collected. Some of the March sales will be collected in April and May, right? So we need to prepare the expected calculations for the months. Okay. Okay. Cash collection. We need a table for how many columns? 3 plus 1, which is the 3 months plus the total, right? Total. So exercise 8.1, we need April as a column, May, June, April, May, June, and total, right? April, May, June, and the total, right? And we'll start with the first collection in April will be related to what? February. So 10 or February sales, which is given in the question for how much? 230,000. 230,000 is the total sales for the February. And we collect 10% of February sales in April. In April, 10th in April. So we do have 23,000 in April. Yes or no? Yes or no? And by the way, it will be the last collection for February. Why? Because we're collecting February 20, February. We're collecting February 70 and 10, right? February 20 in February, 70 in March, 10 in April, all related to February. What about March? We're talking about April, right? What about March sales? So March, 70% of March sales, which is 260,000 times 70, will be collected in April. So 70% of 260 will be collected in April, which is 182,000. Yes or no? What about April sales? How much is collected in the same month, which is April? 20, right? 20, which is 60,000. Yes. April sales, which is given in the question for 300,000, 20% of sales or April sales will be collected in April. So April sales, which is 300,000, 20% will be collected in April. According to the pattern says 20, 70, 10. Yes or no? So if you like, April, 20% will be collected in April, 70% will be collected in May, and the remaining 10% will be collected in June. So 60 to 10, 30, 60 to 10, 30. 60, which is the 20%, 210, which is the 70%, 30 will be the 10%. Sales related to April are collected in April, May, June, referring or depending on the 20, 70, 10. Yes or no? Okay. We done for April. We do have 3 collections for each month. So we do have all collections related to April. From April, the last one, from March, and then from February. What about May? Do we have any collections related to February and May? Why? Because we're done with February. February is collected in February, March, and April. We're done. We don't have any collections in May related to February, right? What about March? We still have 10% related to March to be collected in May. So in May, we do have 26, which is the 10%, 26, which is the 10% of 260 collected in May related to what? To March. Okay. And then we do have the 20% related to May sales to be collected in May. What is the 20% of May sales? We do have, according to the question, we have 500,000 sales of May, 500 sales of May. So we have 100,000, 20% to be collected in May for May sales. Yes or no? Okay. So again, we have 3 collections in May. One related to May, one related to April, and the other one related to March. We don't have anything related to February. What about June? Do we have anything related to March or February? No. We have only related to April, yes, and May. So 70% related to May. What is the sales of May? What is the sales of May? 500,000. 70% related to May will be collected in June. 70% related to May will be collected in June. And the last thing, which is June sales. June sales are how much? 200. 200, referring to the question. 200 multiply by what related to June? 20. So we have 40,000 related to June from the sales of June. Yes or no? Again, how many collections do I have in June? 3. Something related to June, if you like. Or May and April, if you like. What are the 3 in order? I will say the 10%, related to April, 70% related to May, 20 related to June. So we have 3 collections for each month in order from not the previous month, the month before. 10% of the month before, 70% of last month, and 20% of the current month. That's all for the cash collection. So we need the totals for the 3 months and the total for the quarter. 265 totals. 265,000 are the collections related to May. 336 related to 265 related to April, 336 to May, and 420 related to June. The total will be 1,020,000. 1,021,000 actually. 21,000. For your information, we can have a total horizontally. So we can say 23 here, 208 here. But the most important is the totals for the months and the total for the quarter. 300 here, 450 here, and 40 here. The total for the quarter is 1,021,000. Totals for each month are important also. Okay. Okay. So the second question, which is a production budget. Okay. We do have a production budget. The production means depend on what, guys? Depend on how many? What is the question for the production budget? How many units should I produce? Depending on how many units should I sell. So this production depends on the sales units. So down under products of Australia has budgeted sales. This is the key for the production of its popular food range for the next 4 months as follows. The company is now in the process of preparing production budget for the second quarter. Past experience has shown that end of month inventory levels, or inventory levels should be 10% of the following month's sales. The inventory at the end of March is 5,000. Prepare the production budget. Now, I need to depend on these numbers in order to prepare the production budget. I will move the screen. Okay. Just keep it in your reference. Take the question and I will write down the answer. Okay. Now I need to prepare a production budget. Exercise 8.2. Production budget for April, May, and June, and total, right? What do we have at the beginning of the starting for the production budget? Production budget. What is the starting point for the production budget? Sales. Sales in units. Sales in units given in the question for what? For 50, 75, 90. 50, 75, 90, and total? I'm preparing the budget, guys. I'm preparing the budget. The budget includes 3 months only, right? April, May, June only. They give me the sales of July because I will use it in the budget, right? But it is not included in my budget. I will use the number in the budget only. Okay. Okay. Then we have April, May, June, 50, 75, 90, and the total will be 215,000, right? I need to sell these units, and accordingly, I need to produce at least 215,000. Is it right? This is the question for the production. If you need to produce 50, what is the total for the production? If you need, sorry, to sell 50, how many units should I need to produce? So at least I need 50. Yes or no? Now, if I need to sell 50, I need to keep a desired ending inventory. Why? For any unexpected demand, I need to keep 10% according to the question. They give me a percentage, and this percentage can be different in another company. So 10% of the following sales will be kept in April, right? Which is 7,500, 10% of 75. What about here? 9,000. What about here? 8,000. Why? Because depending on July are given for 80,000 unit sales So I need to keep 10% of 80,000 to be kept in what? In June. So we do have 8,000 here. What about the total here? Is it the total for these three numbers? What is the ending inventory for the quarter? Yes. Final answer. It is only the 8,000. Why, guys? Because if we're talking about the ending inventory, it will be the ending inventory for the whole quarter, which is the ending inventory for the last one. If we're talking about the beginning inventory, it would be April, right? So the ending inventory is one number only, not the total. Total needs, which is total of these three numbers, 57,500, 84,000, and 98,000. What about the here? 223,000. Yes, 223,000. 98, 84, 57. What about the beginning inventory? Now I need to produce. I need 57,500 units to be produced in April. But I do have already at the beginning of April, which is the beginning balance of April means ending of March. I do have it from the question for 5,000. So minus or less the beginning inventory of April given in the question 5,000. Yes or no? So production, the last title will be production needed will be 57 minus the 5,000, 57, 52, 500. What about the beginning inventory of May? What about the beginning inventory of May? 7,500. Why? Because it will be the ending inventory of the last month. Yes or no? Beginning inventory of May will be the ending inventory of April. So here will be 7,500, and similarly here will be 9,000. What about the total here? 5,000 only. Why? Because we are talking about the beginning inventory for the whole quarter, which is the beginning inventory for the first month only. So the beginning inventory as a total is 5,000. The totals for April will be 52,500, 76,500, 76,500, and 89,000 to 18,000 for the total. To 18,000 for the total. Any question? Any question? The third question, which is raw materials. طيب exercise 8.3 at least talks about the raw materials. Now, if I say raw materials, depends on what? Depends on production. If you remember the numbers for the last budget, if I need to produce 57 something for April, how much or how many items or units of raw materials for these units, right? Yes or no? So the most important thing in the raw materials budget to differentiate between the word finished goods and raw materials unit. What is the difference between raw materials unit and finished goods unit? If I'm talking about the table is a finished goods or raw materials? Finished goods is a table. So what is the raw materials for the table? Wood. Yes or no? At the beginning of the starting of the exercise, they said 3 grams of musk oil. What is this? This is the raw materials, is it? 3 grams of musk oil are required for each what? Bottle. So what is the finished goods here? Bottle. What is the raw materials? The musk oil. The musk oil. So I need to prepare for the musk oil raw materials units. Yes or no? So 3 grams, and this is the key for the budget. 3 grams of musk oil required for each bottle of mink Keris, a very popular perfume. So the finished goods is perfume, and we need 3 grams from the musk oil. By a small company in Western Siberia, the cost of the musk oil is 1.5 per gram, $1.5 per gram, and this is not so important. Budgeted production for the companies given below by quarters for year 2 and for the first quarter for year 3. Something different in this question, we do have 4 quarters for the year. So we have to prepare a budget for 4 columns plus the total. 4 columns plus the total. So we have 60, 90, 150, 100 for year 3, 70 for the first quarter for year 2, 70 for the first quarter for year 3. The inventory of musk oil. What is a musk oil again? Raw material. The inventory for the musk oil at the end of the quarter. At the end of the quarter, must equal to 20% of the following quarter's production needs. Again, we're talking about the ending inventory for the raw materials. I have to keep in my warehouse 20% of the following month needs of production, because I'm talking about raw materials. Right? Some 36,000 grams of musk oil will be on hand to start the first quarter of year 2. So the beginning inventory for the first quarter is 36,000 grams. We need to prepare the raw material budget. Let's prepare the raw materials budget. Raw materials budget. Raw materials budget, again, we need to not memorize, to know what are the components for the budget. What are the components for the budget for the production? We start with the production, yes? To add the desired ending inventory for the raw materials, to deduct the beginning for the raw materials. But the only difference for the raw materials, we do have, and if you like, additional line to talk about how many grams, according to the question, do we need for each unit. So for exercise 8.3, we need how many columns? Quarter 1 for year 2, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and total, right? Same. If we say quarter, 3 months. If we say the whole year will be 4 quarters, right? And this will start with what? Production in units. Production in units. How many? Finished goods, right? Finished goods. How many finished goods? So we have the finished goods first. 60, 90, 150, 100. 60, 90, 150, 100. Total is 400 units as a finished goods units, guys, right? As a finished goods units, right? The second line, which is the most important line. Why? Because we are talking about the raw materials budget. So how many? What? Yes. Oil grams for or per 1 unit. How many grams do we need to produce this production? So we need 3 grams, depending on the question. 3. Yes. So what is the total here? What do you call the total here? Raw materials. Yes or no? Raw materials, which is oil grams. Oil grams. Raw materials needs in what? Grams. This is the key for the budget. So we have 180 here, 270 here, 450 here, and 300 here. Total will be 1,200,000. Yes or no? Okay. I need 180,000 grams for the first quarter to produce the 60 units. But I need to keep some in my ending inventory. Again, I'm talking about the equation of the inventory. So the next step will be add what? Desired what? Ending inventory. Yes or no? I need at least, let's say, 180,000 grams of oil. But I need to keep in my warehouse what? 20% of the following month. 20% of the following month. And be careful, 20% of the raw materials or units. Raw materials. So we need 20% of raw materials. 20% of raw materials to be kept as a raw material inventory. So depending on the question, D, we have here 20%. This will be 20% of 270, 54,000. Yes or no? 20% of 450 will be 90,000. 20% of 300 will be 60,000. 20% of what here? Yes, exactly. So 54, 90, 60, and what? For the last quarter, guys, we need 20% of the following quarter in year 3, right? This was 70 what? 70
times 20.
yes, times 3. No, come on. 70 what, guys? 70 product units, right? Or finished goods units, which is bottles, yes or no? So I need to multiply the 70 by 3, and then I need 20% of, right? So 210,000 multiply by 20%, this will give me 42,000 grams to be kept in quarter 4. Any question for this? Okay. What is the ending inventory for the year?
42.
42. Same number, 42,000. Yes or no? So the total raw materials needs, which is the total of these numbers. The first one will be 234 thousands, 360 thousands, 510 thousands, 342 thousands, 1242 thousand. Yes or no? 342, 1242. And this is called total units of raw materials needed for the production. Yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
But I do have already a beginning inventory. So this will be deducted this beginning inventory. Beginning inventory. Beginning inventory is given here only. At the beginning, referring to the question, we do have 36,000 grams at the beginning of the year is already there in the warehouse. So we have 36,000 grams available in our warehouse. Yes. What about the second quarter? 54. Thank you. Why? Ending of the last month, and this will be 60. What about the total? 36. Yes. Yes. Raw materials, what? To be what? To be purchased. Thank you. Raw material to be purchased is the last line for the raw materials budget. So we do have 198,000, 306,000, 198, 306, 420,000, 282,000, and this will be 1,206,000. What are these, guys? Raw materials, grams to be purchased in order to produce or to start our production. another exercise about direct labor budget. Okay. The production manager of Rorden Corporation has submitted the following quarter. Exercise number 8 for direct labor budget. Production manager of Rorden Corporation has submitted the following quarterly production forecast for the upcoming fiscal year. We do have 4 quarters, units to be produced. Again, the labor cost depend on what? Production, right? So again, the production budget is important. Why? Because we need to prepare direct material depending on that, labor depending on that, and the manufacturing overhead, by the way, it can be depending on the production. Definitely, we do have some basis for the manufacturing overhead. One important indicator will be the production also. Okay, we do have 8,000, 6,500, 7,000, 7,500 units to be produced. But the key for the budget, each unit of this production needs what? 0.35 direct labor hours. So if you like, we do have a line in this labor budget talks about what? How many hours do we pay for the? How many hours do we spend for our production? And each direct labor hour are paid $15 per hour. So what is the question for the direct labor budget? What is the last line, if you like, represent what? What is the question for the direct labor budget? What is, what is the total cost for the labor? What is the total cost for labor? How much are we paying for labor, which is salaries and wages, right? So we need this information for the labor budget. Okay. Labor budget exercise 8.4. Labor, we need 4 quarters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 total. Starts with what? Production in units. Production in units 6,000, 8,000, 6,500, 8,000, 6,500, 7,000, 7,500. Total is 29,000. 29,000. Total is 29,000. For the year, 29,000 for the year. Then what is the next line, if you like? Per unit. How many hours per unit? So labor hours per unit. We are spending 0.35 hours per 1 unit, right? We are spending, let's say, 0.35 hours per 1 unit. So direct labor time per unit. Direct labor time per 1 unit. So the total direct labor needed, total labor needs, which is the units multiplied by the 0.35, 2,800 for the first quarter, 2,275 for the second quarter, 2,450 for the third quarter, 2,625 for the last quarter, and the total will be same, 29 times 0.35, 10,150. 10,000 what? Hours. Right? So the next line will be what? What is the cost per what? Per unit or hour? Per hour. We are paying per hour. So we do have $15 per 1 hour, $15 per 1 hour. And the last line will be what? Costs of direct labor in order to produce all of these. So the first number will be 47,000. 42,000, sorry, 42,000. The second one will be 34,125, 36,750, 39,375, and the total will be 152,250. The cost of labor that I have to pay for our production. Any question? That's all. So